What's up, guys? Hyped Happy Hour episode fucking uno. Probably shouldn't have cussed that early on the first episode, but we're riding. I am Gentle Tornado. I am your host. And I created a company called Live Hyped because I want to show the world that you can live through different words and live a good life depending on your situation. Hyped stands for happiness, inspiration, positivity, enthusiasm, and dreams. And I believe if you live a hyped life, that it amplifies your life in a way that you've never had before. Our logo has a heartbeat in the middle because you never know how many heartbeats you have. It could be your last heartbeat. So you got to live every single life in the moment, every single day in the moment, every life, every interaction you have, just be in the moment because you don't know what's going to happen. I'm Tornado on this journey, and I'm here to take you to the next level, help you in any way possible. The goal of this podcast is to bring awareness to those words within Hyped. And you don't have to live every single word. You can maybe just live one, but to bring more awareness to amplify your life to the next level. And we're going to ride together. We're going to stay together. We're going to get this shit. Let's go. I got my first guest. I am so fired up. My boy, Easy Eats Bodega, also known by Ryan in the streets. But this is my man. This is my guy. Look up to him. Just an absolute legend in the space. Easy, how are you doing?
I'm good, Tornado. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, phenomenal. So grateful to have you on the first podcast. I just want to start off with some good energy. What are you grateful for today?
Just got back from Chicago. Grateful to have met Cole Bennett. That was sick. Grateful for my health. Grateful for NFT NYC coming up. Grateful to hang out with you again, my friend.
Let's go. How was that meeting Cole?
Crazy. Like, he knew who I was, which was cool. He knew about the Nifty. Loved what we were doing. It was like, keep doing this. Like, we need more people like you guys. It was dope. It was just like a surreal moment. Really just genuine human being. So, I was ecstatic about it. Like, I couldn't believe it actually happened, all because I own an NFT. Like, it was just a wild full circle kind of thing that's happened here.
That's cool, dude. That's cool because you've like known him for a while, right? Like, you've watched his content and stuff.
Yeah, so I've never met him, never talked to him before this. Just been following him forever. Like, he did a TED Talk at, I want to say it was University of Illinois, Chicago. I've probably watched it like 100 times because you can tell it was just like his story of like being a dude, not sure what he wants to do with life, dropping out of college and just like taking a swing. And it was just like this inspiring thing that's just so dope to hear about and hear how someone's made this massive success in the music industry coming from literally nothing and just like kicked it with his boys and held true to it all. So it's just such a dope thing. And he was exactly like that. Like, dude was just wicked chill. Loved hanging out with his boys. It was sick.
That's cool. No, I love those. I love those stories where just someone just ate shit and grinded and then made it. That's like the most inspiring thing to me, and it makes me so happy to hear when people win like that. I'm gonna give you the floor. I want a 2 to 3 minute origin story, superhero type description. Tell me about fucking Easy Eats Bodega.
Oh man, an origin story. So let's think here. I started in the space December 20 with Top Shot. So really, really early with Top Shot. It was back when the packs didn't sell out. So at the time, like I look back now and it's one of those like shoulda, woulda, coulda, should have bought every pack and just sat on them and never opened them, would have been retired by now. But that tends to be my cycle. I always sell early, take profit always. 16 to 18, 2016 to 2018, lost a ton of money in crypto. Got into equities before that, enjoyed that. Started dabbling again after I lost everything in 18. 2020 hits, NFTs pick up. I faded the apes in April, May, whatever it was. Watched that kind of started the bull run there in June and July with a ton of projects kicking off. August, I got into NFTs with Lazy Lions. Bought a ton of those and then realized that ETH was not for me. Started September, probably like September 1st. I was just all in on Solana. Decided like that was the path I wanted to pursue, have stuck to trading Sol and kind of just building out this Solana community with the Nifty here. It's been a ton of fun.
That's cool. I love that. I also missed on apes, so we can ride that one together. Tell me a little bit about your growing up. Like, what was your childhood like, or what did you do? What was your hobbies?
So growing up, lived in a small town in CT. Like real small town, second smallest school in the state at the time. So like I think my graduating class was like 63 kids. So like crazy tiny, bro.
Yeah.
And I moved in 5th grade from like the second largest town in Connecticut. So it was like a massive switch there for me. It was just like a culture shock. 6th grade, I really started playing like soccer a lot, got in sports. Um, didn't really touch basketball much until like 8th grade. And then high school, that was like the only focus. Ended up playing AAU and all this other stuff, playing with a bunch of prominent names at CT. Went to University of New Haven for a year. That was dope. And then transferred to a big state school after that just kind of wasn't working out for the sports and everything else. And then got 2 degrees there at the state school. Went back to school again after that. Did a sales job right out of school. It was terrible. I hated it. Now I do some form of like tech consulting, but going full time with Nifty here hopefully soon. So full time Web3.
Full-time Web3. I was hoping that you would talk about that a little bit because I was wanting to share that because I'm so fucking excited for you. It's not even funny. Like the amount of happiness I have when you fucking told me that was unreal. I was just like, let's go. When do you transition fully to full-time?
I'm not sure just yet. Hopefully like within the next month. It's just some logistic stuff. You got to plan. I think I'm moving in August too, so it's just like money at the moment. Just got to try to plan this financially responsible enough that I don't implode with the markets crashing here as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you going to move? To stay in Boston or?
I'm not sure yet, to be honest. We'll see. I mean, we're weighing a few options here. Maybe New York, maybe Miami. We'll see what I do.
Maybe Miami. Fuck it. I love it.
Well, it's just like, bro, it's like the crypto capital of the world. So like for me, I'm just like, this makes sense. I have some friends down there so that I can kick it with. We'll see what happens.
There was quite a bit of people that I met at VCon that were from Miami, like a large amount, to be honest.
Yeah,
And
they
I
have a
know,
Bitcoin conference down there that's like world renowned. I think like people really do credit like Florida and Miami specifically as like the crypto capital of the US. So I mean like if I'm going full time Web3, it might not be a bad idea to kind of be in the area.
yeah, no, for sure. Um, I would love to ask you a little bit about so you went and played basketball in college, but just for 1 year, and then decided that wasn't for you. It's kind of or wasn't working out well.
Yeah, there was some stuff with like the coach shifts, a couple other things that kind of went on that just led to me not wanting to play anymore. I wasn't on scholarship. It was like a preferred walk on, which is like a totally different paradigm. It's like they give you an academic scholarship, get you over there to get a walk on spot. So you're not actually a scholarship athlete, but you still have all these stupid ties to it. So like as I started not wanting to be interested in it, they ended up like messing with my financial aid. It was like, yeah, we have to take this away if you're not doing this. So it just like financially became irresponsible to stay there. Um, and just like never coming from money, it didn't make a lot of sense paying all this money out of pocket and taking crazy student loans to try to force something that wasn't even a good option.
That's cool. I mean, that sucks, but that's cool that you were self aware enough to make that decision. When I went to college, I played football in college, and I could have gone to like a D2, but it was a private school. It would have been like 25K a semester, and I made the decision to go
Yeah.
to a junior college because I didn't want my parents to pay for it. I didn't want them hurting, so I went to a JC, paid for it myself, and it was the best decision I ever made for sure to not be in debt and yeah, but that's cool that you had adversity. Like I love when I talk to people that went to college and played sports and then maybe didn't make it, per se, and came out of that. I think it makes people grow and just like college sports is just insane. Like I can't even describe it to people how intense it is and how like next level.
You're up at
Um,
5 a.m.
you know,
Well, sometimes too, it was like you have to be ready at 5 a.m., not up.
yeah,
It was like stretched on the line, ready to rip at 5 a.m. It was, dude, your entire life is just that. Like you're doing footage, you're watching film, you're in study hall with the team after classes, you're practice in the morning, pick up at night. Like it's nonstop.
yeah, no, I love it, and I think that it's like the worst thing ever, but it's something I'm so grateful for. It taught me just crazy just amount of work ethic, and but let's go straight into it. So the way that I'm going to do this, I'm going to go letter by letter. We're going to talk about each letter within Hyped. So we're going to start off with happiness. And I just want to read a quick definition. This isn't like the Webster's definition. This is a definition I found that I really liked. It says, happiness is an emotional state characterized by the feeling of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment. When I hear that, it just makes me happy. Like, it's kind of funny. It makes me really happy. And those are the things within happiness that people can work on to build that. And I've worked on to build my happiness up. One question I'd love to ask you is what is the happiest moment of your life? What was the happiest moment of your life?
Ooh, that's tough. Let's think. Man, that's tough.
You
I
give
mean,
me a
that was
few.
just kind
You
of like,
could give me a few too. That's
yeah.
fine.
I mean, bro, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I went to Harry Potter World with some of my boys for the first time. It was like one of the dopest moments ever. I just remember like my boys were giving me such a hard time because I shed like a singular tear because I was like, this is the most beautiful place I've ever seen because it felt so real. And like
Yeah.
I grew up with that, reading that book with my mom and stuff. So it was just like amazing to be around that. Yeah, that would probably be it. Because like thinking about that, I was just like everything felt so surreal about it. Like it's so cheesy too, because like it's Disney, but like at the same time, or Universal. But at the same time, I was just like, this is the coolest thing. Because like as a child, I knew how happy my inner child would have been at that moment.
Yeah.
So it was just like growing up being obsessed with the movies and the books and like everything about it felt like this immersive experience that like if I was a kid, it would have been even crazier. But I could just feel like the inner baby Easy so happy to experience this, you know. So it was,
Dude,
that's probably it. I was like, this is the coolest place I've ever been.
that's so. Oh my, dude, you're gonna free. What my little outline, right? I figured we were gonna go off track, but the quote that I wrote down for happiness, dude, is by Dumbledore, and it is. This is
Let's
wild.
go.
When you said that, I started freaking. I was gonna scream. His happiness can be found in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn to the light. Uh, dude, just chills. Like, love that you love that. Love that you were vulnerable enough to share that. Some people would maybe think it's weird. Whatever, dude. We're riding. I love that so much. I've never been to Harry Potter. Oh, I've been in fucking in Florida. Is that where you went? Was in Florida? Yeah. Sick, dude. Sick.
It was
Did you
unreal,
ride the
bro. It was
did,
unreal.
did you ride the dual roller coaster, the hanging one? The dual dragons or whatever?
No, no, dude, I'm terrible with roller coasters.
Good. That's good, dude, because I almost threw up. So it's okay. We ride. What about NFTs makes you happy?
Uh, Loaded question for sure. Like
Yeah.
absolutely a loaded question. It's probably like a multiple prong type of thing there. I like the trading aspect a lot. It's a lot of fun. Lower liquidity, markets move quicker. It's just like the atmosphere of the space is a ton of fun. But like, dude, I mean, I like the people I've met too. Like, I'm in a small tight knit group that was trading Soul back in October. I joined it. It's like maybe 20 of us, and I talk to them every day. Like that's like my trading group. Those are like literally my best friends at this point in the space easily. We talk like it's so funny because the joke in the group is like when you wake up, you message the boys good morning. And it's like every time, no matter the time of day, we're global. We have people in the Philippines, we have people in Canada, the US, Europe. It's just like this group of a bunch of degens, literally ranging from like 16 to 45. So it's like the age ranges are hilarious. Like one guy in there has 7 kids,
Oh,
which is absolutely hilarious. And he just like trades soul with us and like peak degens, like getting rugged and all this other shit. Other days, like, hey boys, the seventh's on the way. And it's just like so funny that like this is the group I'm in. And then you have like a 16-year-old who started with literally $0 and bought his family a car from the
oh,
Philippines. So
fuck.
it's like it's just crazy to see this like shift in range and where everyone's really come from. So like I'm a huge fan of that. Just the people you meet, the space itself I think is awesome. The tech I think is forward looking. Where like I know everyone hates the cliches that we are early, but at the same time, it's like we haven't really seen real world applicability. Like I just got in Chicago those Summer Smash tickets for Lyricals Festival with the NFT. So I scanned the QR code, got handed the ticket. It was awesome. I had to connect a wallet at home, get the ticket pass, the whole nine. But then like this is a way that I could see real world value adds, you know, and like it's finally starting to happen. I think these conferences and events are a blast too because like it just brings people together that you never would have met in situations that you're only meeting because of things that you value in a similar manner. So I mean, I enjoy the space a lot, man.
That's cool, man. That is so badass that you have that group. So cool to hear things with like the older guy with the kids, the younger kid that bought his parents a car. I mean, that's I fucking love the space because of things like that. Like people say they came for the money and they stayed for the community. Like I truly have met people that I can see being my best friends for the rest of my life. Like it's wild, and when you share common interests like the NFT space or crypto, I think it's like more than that. Like what you're saying, like real life utility, like going to a festival with those guys from Lyrical Lemonade, like Harito and Cole, and like that's like experience that you never thought you would have probably, and now you fucking having it for probably forever or whatever, how
Yeah,
long
it's
they do
crazy.
it, right?
It's crazy.
Is it's so cool. And I think another thing is like during these terrible, terrible times where we're probably going to go into a recession, you have that group of friends that you made, like that solid support system that not a lot of people have. And it's hard out here. A lot of people in real life are pretty standoffish, and aren't really willing to talk to a lot of people. Like I know in Vegas, it's kind of it's rough out here. Like people aren't very nice. They don't wave back. They're not pleasant. And so to have that, this crypto community, this NFT community, like it's just such a big family. Like the Nifty, we're just such a big family, and Top
It's a
Golf
bunch
was
of
so
defense,
sick.
bro.
Yeah, we're just the funny is like we are literally such degenerates, but such a big family and such good people. And that restores
Well, it's just
hope.
funny because, bro, it's like when people buy into the portal, you don't leave. And like when you do, like it's so funny to see the people who have come back after they've left. It's like it's so funny.
Yeah, no, and one of my obviously my best friend Primo that you met, like he bought his portal for 0.15 when I told him like he had to back in February, and he sold it for like 0.5. And every day after he sold it for 0.5, he was like, I gotta get a portal, I gotta get back into the portal, I gotta get back into the portal. And then finally we went to VCon. I was like, dude, this is it. Like what I mean, we're here at the party. Like you literally have to buy. There's no option, man. So that's cool. Wow, that's awesome. You crushed that. Great answer. Love it. Love the happiness that you're bringing. Let's move to inspiration. Inspiration is huge, in your life, like in everybody's life. In my life, for just my motivation, get up in the morning, grind. How bad do I want it? I love saying that shit, because working hard is something you have complete control over, and it's something that you have the power to make happen in your life if you put in the time and put in the effort. What life lesson did you learn the hard way?
Oh man, financial management is probably the biggest one.
Let's go.
Because yeah, I mean, you look at the crash in 18, and I was over leveraged. Like I said, every dollar at the time was just like used in the market. I thought I was untouchable after like the 14 to 16 to 17 range, where like it was up only. I had made a massive bag. Was like I didn't have to work if I didn't want to. It was a disaster, to be honest with you, because like once you get to that point, it's like you just kind of feel like you're untouchable, like nothing can stop you. And then that crash puts you, it was like literally the lowest point. Like I had nothing. Like I don't even think I had 50 cents at the time. Like it was crazy. So yeah, that one's tough because like I think about that a lot, and it's like risk management. And now looking at it, people give me a hard time when I exit stuff quickly, and I'm just like, you weren't there when I lost it all. Like you weren't in my head, you weren't in my shoes, you had no idea. So like that's probably the biggest. I mean, just growing up without money too is tough from like a financial standpoint, because like you don't really understand the value of a dollar. You either really cherish it or you want to spend it as quickly as possible because you don't know when you're going to get the next one. So like growing up in kind of that similar situation, family wise, it was always just like we had food on the table, we managed to get through holidays, all that stuff, but it was like you never really had extra stuff. So like now I'm in an age where it's like I'm very cost conscious, especially when buying stuff for myself. Like I never want to buy anything for myself because I just feel like I'm wasting money. I'm burning money. But then at the same time, I have days where I'm like, dude, you're working your ass off. Like it's time for you to enjoy life a little bit and spend the dollars you're making. So it's like that was probably the biggest thing, and just figuring out how to do that in a manageable way. And also not like getting into credit card debt, managing student loans, like the whole nine. It was just something that I really had to learn myself. And after that, that was just kind of like feet to the fire. Now I have to get a budget and make like $100 last a month type stuff.
Yeah.
So it was wild, but that was probably it.
No, I love that. How did you, when you went into that dark hole? I think we can bring some value to the listeners, but like, what was your process of getting out of that? Because that's pretty intense. Like, it's pretty intense to lose that much money. Obviously, we know how much money you've lost, but it's a lot, listeners. It's more than you think. It's a lot of money. So can you tell us a little bit about like that journey?
Yeah. So I mean, just for context, it was like over $500,000. So like that was a ton of fun. And just trying to like, I don't want to say get comfortable, but you almost had to just like understand that like this wasn't forever. This was largely like for now, and making sense of that. Like that was the toughest part, because like when you feel that way, you feel like nothing's going to bounce back. You're never going to get out of this. You're stuck. But a lot of it was just like having conversations with people. Like talking to my mom was a big help. Talking to my friends, just like dude, this fucking sucks. But like, this is where my head's at. This is what's going on. And just like finding distractions that weren't negative. So like playing sports more, applying for jobs, getting a job, like the whole nine of just like getting back into a routine really got me out of that. And that was the tough part. Cause like there were so many days where like you would just lay in bed, cause like
Yeah.
you just feel miserable. You feel like everything's collapsing. So then it's like getting back into a routine, working out again, going outside, seeing people, and just like finding ways to occupy yourself. Reading a lot more was a big thing that helped for me. And that was actually where I just started reading a lot more into like fundamentals of crypto and like fundamentals of assets and a ton of stuff about how I could manage my stuff better and reading books about other people who had lost everything from the 2000 crash, '04 crash, everything. Because like I knew I wasn't the only one. That was really what kept me out of my head for the most part. Like when you get into a space where you think you are the only one and no one understands, that's where it gets really dark. It was also like very quickly I was able to identify like I'm not the only one in this situation. Going on Reddit was very dark and seeing all the messages. But like at the same time, that was like a way for me to cope, to understand like I'm not alone. I'm not the only one going through this. I won't be the last one to go through this. Like these are cycles. So like let me just get back up and figure out how to keep moving.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, just all the listeners, guys, if you ever need anything, you reach out to someone and communicate with the people that love you most. And it's a journey to get out of dark holes like that. I admire you for getting out of a spot like that, and and getting to the place you're at now is super inspiring, man. You're crushing it. You're, it's back to the going full time with the Nifty. Like it's so awesome. It's so cool because you're such a good person, such a humble dude. Work your ass off. I mean, you're trading every day. You're in these groups, but you're also working. And so it's just like, I like to tell people like you can do anything, just grind and you have the power to do anything. What was your first job after you came out of that shitstorm?
Bro, it was sales. I got into
Yeah.
sales, like cold calling, cold emails. It was awful, but it was a grind. It was like basically
Yeah.
the amount of effort you put in. That was what you're doing. And then I just went back to school full time too. So like luckily they took my previous undergrad stuff. I was able to go back to school for software development. I don't write code at all. I'm so damn bad at it. But like it was good to get me into a better position, not doing sales and making more money and kind of just understanding the industry.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. What are your 2 degrees in?
Psychology, and the other one's called urban studies, and it's mostly an economics degree, but it's all about city economics and how they actually structure city design to help
Yeah.
drive infrastructure and the economy of the city. So it was a really
That's,
interesting thing.
yeah, that's fucking cool. I was going to go to school for psychology. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I have no idea why I did, to be honest. I thought it was really cool. Like I think a lot of it was like trying to understand myself and just enjoying
Yeah.
the classes because it was like self-reflective. But like I've never used that degree, sadly.
That's okay. The lessons in the classes for sure were good. Like I remember I took childhood psychology. That was huge for me. I mean, obviously being a dad, like I use shit like that every day. I think reverse engineering a situation is something that people don't think about a lot that I felt like I learned in psychology class. But yeah, I agree with you. Unless you're like a therapist, I think, I don't know really what you could do with psychology. It does help you in your life, I think, just in general, with people. And I think interactions with people is the most important thing, and understanding how people communicate. That's ginormous, and being able to read a person's communication style and then get in the same energy with them because of their communication style. What inspires you about NFTs?
The future. I mean, I like where they're going. I think I'm most inspired about like building these people who are all interested in the same idea, whether it's trading, whether it's a technology, whether it's events. I think it's inspiring that like we are early and there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of growth happening, and that it's not too late. You know what I mean? So like for me, I think it's inspiring that like I'm early to this, I'm enjoying this, and we're making some dope stuff. So it's like that's sick. I wake up every day and I genuinely enjoy it.
That's awesome. That is literally so cool that you're enjoying every single day. You've started a Solana show. I think this is your 3rd week, Monday through Thursday, guys. If you want to tune in, Solana Made Easy. They've actually
Fourth week,
yeah,
first full
4th week.
month.
Best show on the market besides the Nifty 40 Morning Alpha show. Shout out.
Watch it.
Yeah. So what's that been like? Has that inspired you at all, or?
It's dope. I mean, that's like the biggest way to grow an audience, in my opinion, and just kind of understand the space. I think it's helped a lot of ETH traders also find that Solana it's here to stay. Like there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of education, a lot of very smart people on Sol. It's not just a bunch of degenerates, as Pio says, doing drugs and trading JPEGs, which is fair assumption. But at the same time, it's like there's so many people over there that I've had incredibly intelligent conversations with. And Pio even said it after the first episode. He's like, your Solana group is way more focused on like trading and actual trade talk than like, oh, we like this project because it's cute picture season. He's like, they're looking at macros and trends and TA and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, sometimes I go in this space and I'm just like, what's going on right now? What's going on? I'm like, you guys are speaking some crazy shit. I love it. I learn every time I go into the space, and I don't want to trade Solana. I'll buy your project when you come out with one, but I don't have that time, or I can't. I just like too intense for me. I'll get lost in that shit. I'll go down a dark hole. But I love that you love it. I love that your group loves it.
Yeah, it's a 24/7, 365 environment. That's for damn sure. Like, it's so funny hearing people like, dude, I only had an hour to mint whitelist. Like, this is crazy. It's like, yeah, man, if you're not glued to your computer, you're missing out.
Yeah, I would be so screwed on that, dude. This is a fun little question. What's your favorite inspirational movie?
Favorite inspirational movie? Probably Remember the Titans. Dude, I love Sunshine. Like, that's my favorite human being in the world.
This is like that was my answer. That was my answer. I think we've lived life together as best friends before. That's wild. that's
my other option was gonna be like Coach Carter, I guess, because like Basketball Story, which is dope, and I love like the kids in school going through it. I'm a big fan of like Freedom Writers, also another good movie. But I think it just comes from like that whole like the underdog story. Like people get beat up, come from nothing, make something of themselves. And it's just like everyone wants to aspire for that. But man, Remember the Titans was goated. That's a movie.
This is literally heat, dude. Every time you watch it, man, it's like every time I watch it, I find something new. I'm like, holy fuck, man! I'm just gonna go out and just crush the world. When they're running those miles in Gettysburg, I'm just like, dude, this is it. This is it. Waking up at, I don't even know what time they woke up, 2 a.m. probably, and just running in the mud and just let's go. I'm just riding. I'm like, I want to crush the world. That's good. That's so funny that was your answer. Let's go into positivity. Positivity for me, biggest thing in my life. Energy wise, I look to positivity every day. I think it's so underrated. I think a positive mindset is so underrated. I think you can do so much with a positive mindset, and just getting up every day, like even like you said, like being happy to go out and have the opportunity to get after it. Not everybody in the world has the opportunity to do certain things. And, luckily being in the US, we have so many opportunities. And so I like to just go so much into positivity, especially because there's so much negativity in the world. Just combating that every single day with positivity. You can really be a shining light for people. So that's a thing that I really focus on every single day. What are the positive benefits you think of Web3?
Positive benefits of Web3. I mean, the tech is huge. The groups of people are massive. Yeah, the positivity too. I think longer term it's just going to drive less scams, to be honest, for like real world situations. I always think of scalpers for tickets. I always think of situations where people get conned out of authentic items, and this is probably the easiest way to authenticate. Yeah, authenticate. I have to think there. Authenticate an item and give that real world applicability. But I mean, yeah, the positivity aspect of what I think is like, I think the community is the most positive aspect. You find groups of people in every space that you become close with and want to interact with. And that's what brings positivity to me, kind of like the situation at hand.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's a great answer. I also agree. I agree that the community is the most positive thing. Can you give an example of when you turned a negative situation into a positive in your life? One second. He's got a blender on. That's okay. One time I had a negative situation in my life and turned it into a positive was my second year of football. I was at a junior college and I had a full ride to go to a D1 AA. It was the second to last game of the season. And having just the best football year of my life. And I tore my ACL. I wasn't supposed to be in the game. We had no backups, so I would have been out of the game, but tore my ACL, my MCL, my meniscus in the fourth quarter. And at that point, I was in a really dark place. I went to a really dark place for probably about 2-3 months. And but you know what? Once I started physical therapy, I went to, I need to get on with my life. And the most negative thing that happened was the Sunday, the next day after the game, the college that I was going to go to pulled my scholarship. So for me, I was like, holy shit, the world is cutthroat out here. And so I was like, I have to go do something else and get on with my life. I like to say that some of the worst things that happen to you are the best things that happen to you in your life. And moved back home, moved back to Vegas, started working for my dad, and reconnected with my wife from high school. So that's such a positive situation. I went to work for my dad. I hated my dad's business growing up, but I wanted to fucking help him out. He came to me, he wanted some help, and I was like, you know what? Like, you were the best dad to me, so I'm going to eat shit and work for you and do whatever I need to do for you. And it's the positive things that have come out of that are
Dude,
just
that's the biggest thing too. Like, I think you put it perfectly. Like, some of the darkest things can lead to the best moments after it. I mean, like, got lovely family now. You have no idea what would have happened without that, So it's like
yeah,
I'm trying to think here. I mean, the darkest moment, I think we talked about it. Obviously that massive decline in net worth was a ton of fun.
yeah.
Similar story though. I broke my ankle sophomore year of high school. That
Shit.
put like a huge wrench in things. For a lot of people that don't know, like sophomore summer going into junior year is like the biggest season for basketball for recruitment. So for me, that was like a huge downfall. It was like right at the start of the summer. I think it was like the first or second game of AAU circuit season. So I missed like that whole season, missed the entire fall playing soccer, everything. Came back like in January, February. So it's just like those things just like set you back so much. And it's also crazy because like for those who are younger, you start to realize how little stuff matters in that like after the fact as you get
Yeah.
older, that what a microcosm it was of like your entire life story. So like that's if I could give any word of advice, it's like take a step back, take a deep breath, and understand that like this isn't changing the entirety of your future. Like you still have the utmost control of what you do. No matter how dark of a moment it is, it's like you still have a lot of life. So it's like that's one thing I always now try to think about. It's like if something goes bad, something goes wrong, something goes negative, in that small, tiny moment, it truly doesn't matter. And it matters a lot to you in that moment. But on the grand scheme of things, on the long scale of what is your life, it doesn't matter. Like there's so many ways to bounce back and bounce back strong.
No, that's amazing. I cannot wait to clip that. That was just some knowledge you just dropped. I think it goes back to perspective. Perspective on life. Like we have so much more than most people. Or you don't, and you can just look at the positives. You can look at the positives and be grateful for the things that you have. Clean water. Clean water. I think I saw a statistic. There was like a crazy number, like 30 million people or something in the world don't have clean water. I don't even know. It was absurd. It's probably more than that. But I was just like, every day I wake up and I get clean water. I mean, it's a good day. Every day you wake up, it's a good day. And like you said, when things happen to you, it's how you respond, right? Like Mike Tyson said, it's not how hard you get hit, it's how you respond and stuff. And like you can go through life and you can let that shit beat you down, or you can choose to take a different approach and choose again. I like to say, and get after it, dude. Fucking great segment with the blender in the background. We had to pause, but it got real. It got real fast, is what I like to say, and I love that because I really want to provide value for anybody listening to this and to amplify their life in any way possible. The next word. I know positivity, I said, was my favorite, but enthusiasm for me is next level. I think I've been blessed to have this enthusiastic energy, but most of the reason I have that is because I love life and I want to bring that energy to people. I want to bring the energy that it's okay to get crazy. Like it's okay to love life. It's okay to, lift your mom, give your mom a hug and lift her up and scream. Like that's okay. Cause at the end of the day, we only have one life. And that's the thing. That's the punchline. We got one life. What are you going to do about it? Easy. What are 3 things that you can't get enough of?
A dog, coffee, JPEGs.
Let's go. Let's go. Coffee. Love that. What kind of dog do you got?
An 11.4-pound demonic Yorkie.
Love it. Absolutely. My first dog was a Yorkie. Shout out Yorkies all over the
satanic,
world. Man. Yeah, just love it. Do you walk him every day?
Oh, of course. He's miserable. He hates
Yeah.
dogs. Just causes problems.
I have two pit bull boxers, and they're wild, high energy, crazy fuckers. I love them so much. Um, that's cool, man. Coffee. What's your favorite coffee?
Mary Lou's Coffee. It's a spot on Cape Cod out of Boston. It's crazy ass flavors. So they have like, I don't even know how to describe it, but like I'll send you a link. It's like a
Yeah.
million different. They call it gourmet coffee flavors. I buy the whole beans, chop the beans up, get right with it, do coffee the right way.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Are you like a midday coffee drinker too? Are you like an all day coffee guy?
I'll drink coffee at 7 p.m. and still go to bed at 10. Like it
I
has
love it.
zero
That's
effect on me
yeah.
at this
That's
point. But
exactly
like
yeah.
I could drink there's no limit to the amount of coffee I could have.
That's literally the same, brother. Literally the same. I absolutely love it. What projects in Web3 are you enthusiastic about right now, and why?
The portal,
Yeah.
obviously, kind of
Yeah.
self-explanatory. That I'm extremely biased. What else? What else do we have here? What else am I enthusiastic about? I mean, the
Like, what do you get
carton,
excited? Yeah,
obviously.
what do you get excited about when you? I mean, I know you don't have a lot of things like in your
Bro, I
vault
hold
because
like
you
I
trade.
hold like 10 things
Yeah, because
total,
you're
maybe 10
absolute.
total.
You're a legend.
Um,
But what are the projects that you're like, oh fuck, I'm pumped. I'm pumped about where this is going.
Yeah, so I mean, there are a few projects I don't hold that I'm excited about. Like, there's a project called Portals on Solana. That's like a metaverse play that I'm really excited about. I think it looks cool. I love the team behind it. Really smart group of people that just keep doing awesome stuff. Um, Honestly, man, I'm like still excited about things like Steppen and these other onboarding NFTs that people don't even realize they're on the blockchain. Like, I think that's the biggest way that we get mass adoption is through that. And that excites me. Like, that gets me so hyped to know that more people are going to become involved on the chain that I have preference over without ever realizing it. So, like, stuff like that, it really does excite me. New projects, new utility, innovation, just like new stuff is awesome, you know? So, like, for me, I just get really excited as new things come to life. It's like as we start to see more of this tech that I like, I get excited about it. And as they keep making changes and updates, it's like tough to not get excited as new things roll out that I'm like, I could see myself using this or this is valuable to me because it's a situation I was in.
That's awesome. No, I love that. I love that you look forward to things that you can use in your life. What is it like to have the Solana creator talk to you? Like, is he receptive to your feedback?
He's receptive to everybody. So like Raj and Anatoly respond to everyone, which is awesome. Like I think that's one of the coolest things too, is like these guys are just so open with the community. They'll post public tweets, respond, engage, DM back, like whole nine. It's like that's the craziest thing for me is like these people who are making the blockchain and the team over at Solana Labs is like one of the most transparent teams ever. And I think part of that comes from the centralization argument. Like people are like, oh, centralization's bad, da da da. You would never have a situation like this if centralization wasn't a part of it. You know what I mean? Like if there wasn't an involvement of it, then you would not have an opportunity to talk to these team members or have content development. So like that's pretty cool that they're just very, very transparent.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. No, that's so cool that they're in the community. I love that. I love learning from the community. You know, those are sometimes the people that know the best and know the most and want it to improve for the best. What's your favorite JPEG? You said JPEGs in your three things you can't. What's your one JPEG? I know you only have 10, so it's easy pick. What's your number one?
Yeah, let's think here. Probably my flag monkey. Like it's kind of cheesy, but that I paid 6 Sol for it at the time. Sol was about $150, so that was like what, $750
Yeah,
about at the time. Probably even a little less, maybe like $600. They got all the way up to an 80 Sol floor, but it was just one of those things. Like this was the first one of one I've ever bought. It gave me like Solana Monkey business vibes because it's a pixel JPEG. And the one I bought is this guy, like a chef sitting in a little kitchen. So it just gave me like the Bodega vibes, like behind the counter of a Bodega type thing. So I was like, this is just a perfect one. I've never listed it, never thought about selling it. That's a team that I'm like just a huge fan of. They're wicked cool people. Shout out Riz.
yeah.
They're just like they never promised anything. They made a little metaverse game for like the NFTs, the pictures. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
I think
dope.
that's probably the one. I mean, like
Yeah,
obviously I could say the cartons because like I'll never sell them. But
yeah,
that flag monkey was like when I bought that in October, it kind of solidified like I'm never leaving Solana. Like if I
yeah.
feel comfortable putting $700 into a picture that I'm never gonna sell and I just like it, then there's a very slim chance I ever leave this blockchain.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. So actually, I'd love to just go into this. It's not on script. How did Easy Eats Bodega? How did that happen? Tell us a little bit about your name.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like plain and simple. So like I started on this eat thing And I made like some vector art for like ETH, like food and drink style, like this whole comic book idea behind it, just like some small community thing that I was working with a few people in the space, like Hash Bastards, the Grizzies, Mobius are some of the names that I'm sure if they see this, they'll love the shout out. But they were just smaller groups of guys that I was talking to that all had these like one of one artist style NFTs. And I just made Easy Eats Bodega because I like the sound of it, like the name. Loving bodegas in New York and like chopped cheese sandwiches. I was always just like, dude, this is fucking perfect. And just seeing like some of the names and all that stuff, it just like flowed. And then now it's just been shortened. It's been condensed to just Easy. Like that's what everyone calls me. So that's kind of where we're at.
It kind of fits you. I mean, it definitely fits you. It doesn't kind of. It's funny because you make trading look easy. So it's funny because it's not easy. Even for you, I know that for sure because you're grinding, but you make it look super easy. And with the trades and shit you make, and the best thing I ever learned from you is profits, profit, baby. Profits, profit.
Always take profit, bro. Like I don't know who needs to hear this, but like you gotta just take a step back. Look at this in the USD value, and I know people are gonna shit on me for saying it, but like, bro, if your JPEG that costs $37 is now worth $10,000, you should strongly consider taking 10 grand and putting that in your bank account, especially if you've never had 10 grand in your bank account before. Like, these are the things that a lot of people in the space need to hear and learn. Is like, just because the price is going up doesn't mean it won't go down.
100%, like literally 100%. And you can get lost in that hopium of wanting it to run to the moon, and that doesn't happen a lot, and you can't. Nobody knows that. Nobody's fucking psychic, so you can never know what's going to pump to 9 ETH. If it's at an ETH, you sell that for that fucking ETH, and you get that $4,000 when ETH was $4,000. Now we're absolutely fucked. ETH is, I don't know, but we're riding. We got good energy. And so let's go into dreams. I love dreams. There's a reason we put it as the last letter. I'm a massive dreamer. I got crazy dreams. A dream I've had since I was 18 was that I want to retire at 35, and it's going to happen. I've been manifesting it forever. It's going to happen. I'm working my ass off for that. But those are the kinds of things that I love to tell people because you believe in yourself and you have these crazy dreams. And I also love goal setting, but I think dreaming is bigger than goal setting. It's setting things that are unfathomable, things that you don't like, that people don't think you can accomplish. Do you have crazy dreams? And if you do, can you tell us some? Or
Yeah, I mean, bro, I was in the same boat. Like I always said, like I want to retire at 30. That was like the goal that I had at like 16. And man, I felt like I could have hit it, but obviously it imploded. Chilling at 28 right now. There's no way in hell I'm retiring at 30. Yeah. Let's kick that back a little bit to like 35. Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there sooner or later, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Dream wise, I don't know, bro. Like for me, it's just like I don't know what the goal is at the end of the day. Like I just want to have fun. Like I just want to wake up and enjoy what I do. Like I've worked for 10 straight years now, hating it. Like it's just not enjoyable anymore. Don't get me wrong, like no job is fun, but like it doesn't have to be miserable, So like for me, and it's finally getting to that place. Like once I go full-time Web3, full-time Nifty, there's very little to no chance that I'm not going to just wake up and enjoy what I do. So like that's probably the biggest dream for me. And man, when you enjoy what you do, it doesn't feel like work. And I feel like that's everyone's dream at the end of the day. Like that's the dream, is to not feel like you're working and feel like you're just genuinely enjoying living. I guess my other thing is I want to start spending some of the money I make a little bit more, because dude, you die with nothing. You're born with nothing, you die with nothing. At the same time, you work to live. So I'm tired of not spending a little bit of that.
Yeah, my wife likes to say you can die in debt because it's fucked.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're dead. That's it.
Yeah. And good luck.
So that's awesome, man. I think that the biggest thing that you said there was that if you enjoy your work, and I think at 28, the fact that you're going to enjoy your work every single day is something that's rare. It's a blessing, man. It is a blessing to be able to do that every single day and wake up and want to just grind and get after it. And that's your career. It's even better. It's even better to have that energy in your life, and it's going to grow your life to just the next level. And I don't even know what that is because you're already crushing it. But I can't wait to see what you buy with your money that you're making, because I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see what you buy because I know that you like some fashion, some heat.
I like some clothes, I like all that stuff. Yeah. Bro, I want a CryptoPunk so bad, bro.
I think you
Like,
got to get one,
so
man.
bad, bro. I've been staring so that sweep that happened yesterday, the 2 that I had on my watch list that I was like, "Alright, they hit 40K, like, we got the liquid, let's just bang this out, let's get one."
Yeah.
They both sold. They both sold. I was
Oh,
like, "Fuck, bro." So, I'm sitting there, don't know what to do. We'll see.
what's the floor at now?
I think it's up to, like, 65K.
Oh,
Yeah, they're up, like, 15 grand. Dude, there was, like, 20,000,000 in $20,000,000 in volume yesterday on punks. So, like, the bottoms
no.
in at this point, I feel like, are close to the punk floor bottom because people are just aping these things when they touch 50K.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think oh man, yeah, I hope you get one. I hope you get one. I have a feeling you're gonna get one. I don't know how, but I think it's gonna happen. What is your dream within the NFT space? Is it working for the Nifty full time or creating your own project
I
or what?
think,
Do
bro.
you
I mean,
have
that
one?
I think they go hand in hand. Like, I think it's gonna be a Solana-based project for the Nifty that becomes just like that's my baby. Like, that's what I got to take care of and make sure it gets off the ground. I've been an advocate for Sol and getting ETH involvement over there for a long time now. So it's kind of like that's the hope at the end of the day. That's the dream is to go on full time, do well with Nifty, keep crushing the content, keep making dope stuff for people to enjoy. I got a message yesterday from someone who was like, they had lost 30 Sol, had earned it all back, and was just like thankful that I provided content that they could learn from. And I was like, oh, see, like that's what I like. Like you're not
Yeah.
thanking me for trades. You're thankful that you've picked up increased trading skills off of content that I've shared. And I'm like, that's dope. Like that's what I really want to do. It's like just keep helping people, man. Like it doesn't have to be like me giving you money, but if you learn something from my DGen self talking about all the mistakes I've made in my life, and then maybe it helps. Maybe that's a positive outlook on it. And that's all it's really about.
No, that is incredible, and I can say firsthand, you've helped me in so many ways. So I thank you for that. Um, I want to read this I found on Dreams, and it says, "Having dreams nourishes our souls, gives us hope, and lets us pursue a purpose beyond ourselves." I think it's cool, man. I think you're crushing it. I think you're on track to just do some next level shit. I think having your own Solana project, you're a type of person that can run it. You're the type of person that asks founders difficult questions that they don't want to answer. And I think that's sad that founders don't want to answer hard questions because it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to, like be in a space like that. And so I'm hoping for the best for you and I know you're going to crush it. Just absolute, you're just crushing, bro. You're just crushing life. One thing that I've been talking to my wife about lately that I'd love to talk about at the very end here is embracing the present. Me and my wife want to move to Utah, but with the recession or just the financial crisis is coming, we don't know if that's going to happen as soon as we want. And so we were like, we just embrace the present and live in the now. What do you think about that? How do you do that every day? Do you like that? Do you live in the now?
I try to, that's for sure. Like definitely struggle with some of it. I try to. Could be better about living in the now. I always do try to think like ahead, I guess, a little bit or 2, 3 steps ahead, which is never good. Like, it's just kind of forward looking. Embracing the now is probably the one thing I need to work on more and really focus on because life's short. Like, you got to enjoy those moments. You can't be too worried about what's tomorrow or what happened yesterday. That's one thing I got to get much better at, I will admit, is living right then and there and enjoying for what it is.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. And I think like VCon was big for me, like just being there. Not even like watching the speakers or anything, just being there in the moment. I got some real heat from my wife because I didn't call her enough, but I was just so in the moment and in there meeting those people and talking and fully invested in those conversations. And I think it went a really long way. And I too, like you, I'm always looking forward. I'm looking to like, you know, 30 years old. I'm looking to what can I do next, but living in the now is so important. So the last two things, I would love for you to leave a closing thought with my audience. And then the second thing is if you want to leave a question to the audience that you have, it could be anything. It could be NFT related. It could be life related. I would love those two things.
So, one word of advice for the audience, I guess, is what you want. And then a question for the audience are the two things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think here. I guess a word of advice would be exactly what you just said. Kind of live in the moment, embrace time for what it is, and don't I mean, my biggest thing is like at the end of the day, man, a dollar's worth a dollar, but it can't change your life no matter what. People say like, sure, money can change certain things, but you're still who you are. You still have the same mindset. You still have the same goals at the end of the day. Yeah, it can get you ahead, but it's not gonna. Money isn't everything, and that's what it shouldn't be. You need to embrace it, need to enjoy it, need to spend it. You're working. Don't get hung up on that. Like you just said, you can die. You can die in debt. So at the end of the day, that stress that adds to a lot of people, I've seen both ends of it, and I understand what it's like. And for me, it's just now become like, instead of a goal to do X, Y, Z, it's now like just to get enough to survive, get enough to live life and enjoy what I want to do, set targets on a smaller scale. And that's why I think a lot of people look too big. Maybe it is time to look smaller and just really target shorter time frames, lower hanging fruit, and just enjoy life for what it is.
That's awesome. That's an epic answer.
Question for the audience, I guess, is the next one. So, I mean, my question would be, let's think. NFT question would be, are you going to be here in a year if the market keeps going down? Life question for you is, when was the last time you took a step back and just sat there with your own thoughts? When was the last time you just genuinely let your mind run and kind of just think? Like sometimes it's good. Sometimes that helps kind of make things more clear, is if you can just take a step back and try to relax and think for a minute about whatever comes to your mind. So when was the last time you did that?
Let's go. Easy with an absolute banger question. Drop your answers below to both of them or one of them or whatever. We ride together. This is the Hyped Happy Hour podcast, first episode with my dear friend, Easy Eats Bodega. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I don't know because I haven't posted to YouTube in a while, but I love you all. And I'm sending you guys so much happiness, so much positivity. And just remember, live hyped, because we got one life.